Straight ahead at 6 o'clock, a cyber issue keeps weather alert code red offline ahead of storms. And it is going to be a stormy night ahead. Thunderstorms ramp up and a chance for flooding roads by tomorrow. Steve will tell us what to expect.
Now, from Texoma's most watched news, KXII 12 News starts now.
And good evening. Welcome to KXII 12 News at 6 o'clock. I'm Jeff Eliasoph. Caroline will be back at 10 o'clock. A first alert weather day. Heavy rain is on the way to these parts. Pretty much all of Texoma, I assume, will get some rain over the next few hours.
That's right, Jeff. Really looking at later on tonight, especially in Thursday, the skies are going to open up. It's going to be heavy. Now, we don't have a whole lot happening right now, but it's on the way. Upper level low pressure area, very well-defined system. We have talked about this for about 5 days, and it's really right on schedule. As this feature moves closer, our chances of rain will increase, and some of that rain is going to be very heavy. You may have noticed how humid it is outside, right? It'd be tough to not notice that, and that will be an environment that allows for a lot of fuel, so the storms could really put down some heavy rain. Right now, just a couple small thunderstorms well to the west. You can see those on Doppler 12 Live, but really, for our viewing area, things are quiet for the next several hours. Late tonight, probably after midnight, we'll start to see some showers and storms coming in. So with that in mind, there is a first alert weather day for overnight and Thursday. It's a warm evening. Can you believe it's still in the 70s here, and it's very humid. So we're going to be tracking how much rain, Jeff, when I come back.
Steve, thank you. With first alert weather days upon us, now is the time to make sure you're prepared when storms roll in. KXI 12's Taylor Brooks tells us the best ways to stay in the know this week.
Storms and rain are on their way.
Well, everybody's watching the weather today, or I hope they are.
And the Grayson County Emergency Management Office's Code Red system is out of service.
As all technology will prove to us, they do have bad days. And today is a bad day.
Due to a cyber event affecting the company that sends out Code Red alerts.
Code Red is probably not going to be there for us through this weather system.
But no need to sound the alarms. There are many options to keep yourself weather aware.
We recommend that folks have a weather radio. It's an all hazards radio, and it's a way that government alerts are issued through the National Weather Service.
Or just make sure you turn on your emergency alerts on your cell phone.
Go into your settings and then go to notifications and then scroll all the way down to the bottom. You'll see government alerts. So you need to make sure the second one, emergency alerts, is toggled on.
Summers recommends having multiple weather alert systems, and one can even be right at your fingertips. The KXII weather app just takes a few clicks to get notified on all major weather updates. With GPS enabled, our app follows you and sends alerts for your location wherever you are. So you'll always know when a first alert weather day looms.
60s, but it is a first alert weather day because we have the threat of storms mainly later on tonight.
All to stay safe and ready for anything Mother Nature may bring. In Grayson County, Taylor Brooks, KXII 12.
A pursuit with an armed suspect in Atoka County ended with a crash this afternoon. It started in Tushka and went down Highway 3 toward Lane. Sheriff Cody Simpson says the suspect fired shots at officers twice. The man crashed into a storage building at the Shady Oaks Trailer Park. Both the driver and the passenger were hurt. The suspect flown to an Oklahoma City hospital. Simpson says that man is under arrest. Another pursuit, this one in Durant. Court records state that 36-year-old Kyle Kellum of Silos, seen there, fled from troopers down city streets in Durant. They say he was driving recklessly, even running red lights. Kellum then allegedly hid out in the Durant Fire Department. He is facing a long list of charges in Choctaw Court tonight. A man is jailed in Bryan County on drug trafficking charges. 36-year-old Jason Hayes of Aubrey, Texas, allegedly caught with more than 160 pounds of marijuana in his car on Monday. He's also charged with possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, also accused of having a bulletproof vest during commission of a felony. In Denison, a new chapter of growth is taking shape along Morton Street, starting with today's grand opening of a new Whataburger restaurant. KXI 12's Mia Medellin has more on what's going to open up soon.
Growth. That's what's taking place down Denison's Morton Street near Highway 75.
QT, which is already there, Whataburger, which is having its grand opening today, and then eventually we'll have the Take 5 oil change and also a 7 Brew drive-through coffee shop there.
Bringing in more options for residents and more job opportunities.
As well as create more jobs for even young people and also create more investment in the city of Denison. So we're pretty excited.
That excitement was evident Wednesday morning. The first 2 people in the drive-thru received merchandise and Whataburger for a year.
I got here a little early. I got here like 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. Had to make sure I got here first. Yeah.
Whataburger tells us just the drive-thru will be open for now, and in about a week the lobby will open up.
We're so excited to be open. We would love to have everybody in the community come out and visit us. We want you here after football games on a Friday night. We want you here having coffee with us on a Saturday morning.
And just a block over, 7 Brew Coffee Shop is also brewing up.
We poll these groups to see what they would like to have come to Denison. And many of these groups have said actually that they would like a 7 Brew.
Leaving many excited for what's to come.
I know. I love 7 Brew. I'm so excited. So yeah, this is the spot. This is the area now.
In Denison, Mia Medine, KXII 12.
And more to get excited about. Today, almost 500 high school students came to Southeastern Oklahoma State University for their biggest annual campus event. KXII 12's Olivia Thompson tells us why.
Here at Southeastern Oklahoma State University, Morrison Hall's steps were lined with student organizations welcoming in high school students looking for a home away from home. Wednesday morning, campus newcomers met with cheers and smiles, a big part of why senior Tessa Jenkins returned after her SC Live 4 years ago.
The smaller university is just a welcoming home environment, and then another was that they were just very informative and they answered a lot of questions that I had.
During the college hunt, students and parents have many questions. This 16th annual SC Live answered in group sessions after a spirit-filled pep rally to remember. Topics include
admissions, scholarship opportunities, financial aid, and a student panel with our current Southeastern students.
Key says Southeastern has seen record enrollment for the last 3 years, and SE Live, the largest on-campus event, plays a significant part. University President Dr. David Whitlock filled student shoes here decades ago. Now home in even bigger shoes, Whitlock says Southeastern leaves a lasting mark on its students.
I always wondered whether what I had experienced was just because I was young and didn't know better, but something got in the DNA at the beginning and the founding of this institution that just creates a sense of family, a sense of community, and it's a place people want to come back to.
This year, 100 more students attended SC Live than in 2024, paving the way for an even stronger Savage Storm. Reporting, Olivia Thompson, KXII 12.
All right. Coming up, a little holiday surprise popping up in one Texoma town, sure to make families smile. Very muggy tonight, Steve says. Rain is surely coming tomorrow. You're watching KXII 12 News at 6 on a warm Wednesday night in mid-November, and we're delighted you're with us this evening.
You're watching KXII 12 News with Jeff Eliasoph and Caroline Fletcher.
Welcome back on this Wednesday night. Last night, Marshall County voters passed Point Vista's tax plan, funding infrastructure for the billion-dollar development. Today, KXII 12's Marisa Sisk found out what's next.
58% of Marshall County voters approved the billion-dollar tax increment financing, or TIF plan, for Lake Texoma's master plan community, Point Vista, in Tuesday's election. Point Vista officials say construction will resume soon.
I realistically expect to have some folks out here start of the new year.
With the TIF funding the development's infrastructure, they'll start with that.
The water treatment plant is one of our main priorities, but we also need to improve the road network first so we can get the equipment and the machinery down to the job site.
Many Kingston residents say they look forward to it.
It's going to help the area with the tourism and the tax revenue. Part of it's going to go to the county. I just think it's good for everybody.
But 2 county commissioners denied the TIF in June before a petition got enough signatures to put the measure on Tuesday's ballot.
If it would have just been in that district, it would have been voted down by the no. So I feel that what I did, supporting the majority of my people, I feel I did the right thing.
Both Districts 1 and 2 voted down the TIF, but commissioners say District 3 had about 1,400 voters hit the polls, and about 80% of those were in favor.
They just didn't care as much as they did down there at Kingston.
Right.
But they overwhelmingly went against it in my district.
With construction currently stopped at Point Vista, District 3 Commissioner Chris Duroy says this TIF will ensure construction is done in a timely manner.
I was involved with the first TIF 15 years ago, and it was a good product. The thing was, we didn't have any timelines in there to make them build what they was going to build. When they came back to ask for it this time, the TIF committee and we put together a package that basically is nothing but timelines.
Constructed in 3 separate phases, Phase 1 has to be complete by the end of 2029 for the TIF to continue funding their development. Point Vista officials estimate Phase 1 to conclude by summer of 2028. In Kingston, Marisa Sisk, KXII 12.
We'll be watching that story in the months and years ahead. City of Leonard, meantime, says Christmas came a little early this year thanks to a brand new playscape. Work crews are installing it this week, and the city is crediting Texas Emergency Management and FEMA for making this possible. Once finished, the updated playground will offer a safer, more modern space for young and old. TxDOT rolling out a new traffic pattern on Spur 503, and drivers should expect delays starting tomorrow. Westbound traffic will move back to the new frontage road, and the Teresa Drive ramp is reopening. The old ramp closing to through traffic with local access only to Trinity Lighthouse Church. Drivers will need to use the U-turn to reach northbound 75 and should, of course, expect some delays. Coming up, it is Revenge Week for a couple of high school football teams, Kingston and Lindsay, looking to return the favor to teams that ended their seasons a year ago. That's coming up in sports.
And some rain about to kick off across Texoma. How much rain will we get? We've got 2 shots of rain on the 7-day forecast, and we'll put some dents in the drought. And I'll talk more about it in just a couple.
From the KXII 12 First Alert Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Steve LaNore.
Well, high-level cloud cover's been streaming in today, so it kind of put the kibosh on our sunset. Take a look here from our TMC Tower Cam time lapse, sponsored by Crazy AC Guy, and it looked pretty promising until about 30 minutes prior to sunset, and the high cloud coverage is thickening up. And here's a live view of what's happening now. No rain across Texoma yet, but that will be changing before too long. In fact, Doppler 12 in about the past 20 minutes is indicating an intensifying thunderstorm. It's not in the KXII 12 viewing area just yet. It's in far southwestern Stevens County, out here to the east of Walters and southwest of Duncan. So again, this is outside of our area, but kind of a sign of things to come as showers and storms do increase over the next several hours and could reach I-35 by midnight or 1 in the morning. For most of us, it's going to be a dry and really muggy evening. I'm telling you what, is it May or November? I'm telling you, if you didn't have a calendar, it'd be tough to know because temperatures are still here after 6 o'clock, holding in the mid-70s in most areas, and the average high for the state is about 60 degrees. So things are just super wonky on the temperatures and on the weather pattern in general. But nature's going to try to balance us out a little bit here with some cooler weather and a big dose of rain coming. In the morning, temperatures really won't drop a lot from what they are right now. Now, as some rain starts to come in, that'll help a little bit. We're still looking at only the high 60s for your overnight low on your Thursday morning. And tomorrow, though, with clouds and showers and occasional pockets of heavy rain and thunderstorms, highs tomorrow should behave themselves to some degree, topping out around 70 or 71. Haven't had much wind today. Wind's very light from the south. Now, of course, they'll be stronger and gustier thunderstorms that are starting to develop across the area. All that is coming as a result of this big upper level low. As the low gets closer to this big plume of super humid air, well, it causes that air to rise and we get thunderstorms, a really pretty classic pattern. Now, we have 2 lows to watch. This first one will track to our north tomorrow and tomorrow night, bringing heavy rain. And once that moves on through Friday, for the last week of the Friday night blitz, football looking pretty good. Then we get a break Friday and Saturday before this next system comes in and kind of does a repeat performance on Sunday and Sunday night with more heavy rain. So that's good news. We could bust the drought up a little bit here, but we've got a first alert weather day overnight and Thursday for this potential of heavy rain. Now, I can't rule out an isolated severe storm. SPC says we're in the marginal category, the lowest of the 5 categories. Got to watch out for some high wind or a little bit of hail. The big issue is going to be heavy rain and almost no chance of a tornado, but of course we're always watching for any trouble out there. Next several hours, not a lot happening, but things really start to pop here later on tonight, and especially going into the breakfast time on Thursday. You may want to tack on a little extra time to allow for your commute to work or school, as the weather will not be too much fun to drive in tomorrow, but things do settle down, it looks like, on Friday. How much rain are we talking about? Well, again, it's going to be torrential rain because of the moisture content. We could see anywhere from a quarter inch to several inches of rain. Going to be kind of a hodgepodge there. Tonight, rain chance increases to 70%, a rumbly 67 degrees. And a 7-day forecast shows a first alert weather day tomorrow, and again for heavy showers and storms on Sunday. Now, overall, not seeing a big severe weather risk, but just a lot of rain. It's a turnaround, don't drown, Jeff, kind of deal.
And we should point out, as we turn to David now, that we do have some of those games, those big games, tomorrow.
Yeah, there's a few games tomorrow. Most of our teams will play on Friday, but there are a couple of games out there that we'll have to look out for all that weather coming our way. Coming up, it's a big night of high school football coming up on Friday with some rematch games ahead for Kingston and Lindsay. We'll talk about those, plus signing day for one of the most decorated softball players we have in the area. Sports is Money.
KXII 12 Sports with David Reed.
Well, the high school football playoffs continue this week with round 2, and for the Kingston Redskins, things do get tougher after a quite breezy opening game. Kingston had little trouble in the opening round with a 49-14 win over Sperry to move into the second round, but this is the week it always gets more difficult as they take on Marlowe, the team that knocked them out a year ago, 27-21, a game that was decided in the closing minute. Kingston knows they'll have to be at their best on Friday.
Man, it's going to be a physical game. You know, the quarterfinals, the final 8 teams, everybody's good. And Marlowe's got a very, very good defense. They've only given up 44 points all year. And those same kids turn around and play offense. They're a very physical, dynamic team. And, you know, we're going to have to try to match that. And we're going to have to play as well as we can play.
The Lindsay Knights are getting ready for round 2 of the playoffs as they take on a team that's very familiar, the Windthorst Trojans, a team they scrimmaged and a team they've played in the playoffs the last 3 years in a row now. Both teams are 9-2. Coach Casey Jones knows that this will be a highly competitive game out in Weatherford on Friday.
This team's confident. You know, they have a lot of confidence in each other and in themselves, and I feel like that's kind of what had been lacking the last couple of years. You know, they were still feeling their way out and trying to find their way in some areas, but they're a really confident group right now.
Well, Sark says he is staying after countless rumors about the Texas Longhorns coach seeking another job, perhaps in the NFL. Steve Sarkisian says that he's not going anywhere and that he came to the University of Texas to win championships. Texas is currently 7-3 and ranked 17th by the CFP committee. Signing day in Caddo for standout softball player Presley Beck. She has been a big part of a lot of championship teams with the Lady Bruins, and now she's headed to the University of Nebraska-Omaha to continue her playing career. And for Presley, it's been a long time in the making.
When I first started, I wasn't very good, so I don't know, I just kept playing, and then I got better, and when I was about 12, I started realizing that I was actually getting serious and I was getting better, so then I knew that this would be my long-term goal.
And stay with us, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to KXII 12 News at 6. So we're watching out to the west. The National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning. Now, this thunderstorm warning does not include our viewing area, but it's just to the west there along Highway 81, as you can see near Duncan and Comanche, Oklahoma. This is tracking to the northeast, so that should stay out of our area. But again, you see it's a pretty close call. This thunderstorm warning goes till 6:45. The only reason I'm showing you this, folks, is because more of these could form later on tonight or into Thursday. The primary risk would be some small hail and strong winds, but really the biggest issue with most of these storms is going to be torrential rainfall. You can see if you're stepping out this evening, you should be in pretty good shape for the next several hours for the vast majority of the viewing area. 7-day forecast shows a first alert weather day for tomorrow and again for Sunday, in both cases for very heavy rainfall and some small chance of an isolated severe storm, especially tomorrow. Now we're finally getting rid of the 80s. High temperatures the next 7 days should stay in the 60s and 70s. Still, that's quite warm for mid to late November, where the average highs next week should be in the 50s. So we're still way above average, but it is getting a little better, Jeff, for our air conditioners.
All right. As we said at the top of the telecast, be sure, if you can, download this KXII 12 weather app. It could be a lifesaver. Thanks for joining us at 6. We hope to see you at 10.